every good turkey needs a good stuffing. So let's kick off with a traditional start. We've got the sage and we've got the onion. Get the pan on a medium-high heat. So I'll peel the onion, we'll half it, finely chop it. We'll go in with a tablespoon or so of olive oil. Let that sizzle away. Then sage. Roughly chop this. In we go. Give it a little shake. Let's go untraditional. I've got some dried apple and some cider. I want to use a nice little handful of this dried apple. So just run your knife through it, very rough, like this, and get that in the pan. Another little ingredient that I want to add is chestnuts. So I've got 2 packs. They're already pre-cooked, they're already peeled, ready and raring to go. I'm going to take a quarter of those chestnuts just to crumble in to this stuffing. So sweet onions, sage, the apple's going to go really gorgeous and sweet and chewy, especially when they're hydrated with a little bit of cider. You know, just a little glass goes in. It's going to be amazing when the onions have softened up and that cider is completely cooked away. Just sprinkle that in a tray, and then once it's cool, I can finish off the stuffing. So this is cooled down, and now I'm going to add 1 kilo of beautiful sausage meat from lovely free-range pigs, and I'm just going to massage that lovely stuffing base into it. And now we need to stuff that turkey. Okay, look at that. This is a beautiful free-range turkey. So we've got the cavity here, and then here at this end, we've got the neck of turkey. So take little wadges in your hand, really get it deep in there. So get 3/4 of this stuffing into this gorgeous turkey, then pull the skin down, beautifully stuffed, okay? Now, with regards to the other cavity here, then I'm going to take little handfuls of this stuffing and loosely push it down. Don't just jam it in there and block up the hole, because you want the hot air to get through here. I'm going to just wash my hands again. What we're going to do now is the best gravy ever. I'm going to take most of these chestnuts. I'm going to save a little handful, actually, back for later. So I'm going to put the chestnuts in the bottom. I'm going to take a couple of red onions, just cut into like 8ths. We're going to take a little extra sage here. You can put some in the tray, no trouble at all. And then a little clementine. Put that in the cavity, and that will steam and perfume the inside of that beautiful turkey. So, last but not least, the giblets. This is flavour. This is what's going to give you the most epic gravy ever, ever, ever. So put that in the bottom, and then we can pick up our bird and place her beautifully in like that. Look at that. Let's talk about the final flourish. I'm going to make now a sage oil. So get yourself a pestle and mortar and just take a few more bits of your sage, like that. Going to take a little pinch of sea salt and black pepper and get bashing. And then, with a little olive oil and a little kiss of vinegar, we create this little rub that is going to bring out amazing flavour. So just muddle that in and then pour that on top. Look at the colour. So rub that all over the bird. So wrap this up in tin foil. So this is a 5-kilo bird. I'm going to cook this for 2.5 hours at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. In about an hour and 20 minutes, I'm going to take that foil off, give it a good basting. You have to put her on the top.
Oh, on the very top?
Yeah. You got it?
Yay!
Is she on? Yay!
So can we have a snowball fight now?
Okay, so we're 2.5 hours in, and this turkey is looking good. If you get your fork and just hold it like that, if the juices run clear, you're good to go. Put it onto a platter. You want to let a 5-kilo turkey rest for an hour and a half. Let's look at the tray, because we want the drippings. Now, you can put some herbs in this jam jar, and if you roast potatoes with this, even today, amazing. So all I need to do now is put this onto a simmer. It can simmer away for 40 minutes, and we'll just top that up with stock or boiling water, but really all your flavour is already there. And then if I just angle this little platter, look at that juice. Then I'll push the chestnuts and onions through this sieve, and you've got amazing gravy. I'm gonna do basically a honey, bacon, and chestnut crumb on the top of this turkey. So I've got a pan on. We're gonna put it on a medium-high heat. I want 4 rashers of lovely smoky bacon. So this bacon will give this little crumb the most amazing smokiness. We'll have a little bit of olive oil in the pan. Go in with that little bit of chestnuts that I saved a little earlier. So just break it up. Then get yourself 2 slices of nice bread. Get some flavour in these breadcrumbs. And you see the bacon just beginning to get golden. Let's go heavy on the black pepper. That'll be good. Really, really nice. That is basically the most incredible croutons. And this is gonna be gorgeous. All I do is pour it in the food processor. Beautiful. So we can put the pan back on the heat. Lovely, fine, bacony, chestnutty breadcrumbs. We're gonna pour some honey on here, about a tablespoon. It's probably all we need. And the turkey is now sticky. And all we do now is let it rain breadcrumbs. So that's it. And look, when you carve it, of course some are gonna fall off, but they're gonna go in all the juices at the bottom. People are gonna fight over it like the crispy skin. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. But under there, it's gonna be succulent, perfectly cooked, juicy white turkey meat. So look, that is done and dusted, literally. Come and sit down, guys. Happy Christmas, everyone.
Merry Christmas.
So nice to see you all. Look at that. Oh.
Wow, that looks gorgeous.
Look.
Oh, God, this is so delicious. I can't tell you.
Gorgeous.
Do you know, I can taste the onion turkey and the chestnuts.
If you know what you just said, I'll give you a £5. I'm going to show you a really simple and utterly delicious recipe from my brand new cookbook, 5 Ingredients Mediterranean. Really nice. Roasted duck with grapes, cloves, caramelised onions and rosemary. 5 ingredients working really, really hard. Let's do this. So, duck. First up, go to your butcher. When you buy a duck, nearly always you'll get giblets. So giblets is what makes most people go, ugh, but let me explain. Giblets are the kidneys, the heart, the liver, and they're gonna give you amazing flavor. Of course, you don't have to use them, but I'm gonna show you how you can use them because it equals deliciousness and flavor. Let's get the neck. We're gonna put that into the roasting tray like that. I wanna flavor this duck with simple but delicious flavorings. First up, the meat in here is very lean, and then it's covered in this incredible fat, but we're gonna roast it to render it out. And you're not gonna eat that rendered fat, you're gonna use it for months to come. So what we're gonna do is add a little olive oil, right? I want to get this all around the duck so we can make beautiful seasoning cling to the duck. So you want a tablespoon of ground cloves, and then you want a nice teaspoon of sea salt, and also a nice teaspoon of black pepper. Get that seasoning rubbed everywhere. And on the inside, check there's no giblets inside there. And actually, I'm gonna take some rosemary and just crumple it up and get that in here as well. So that steams nicely as it cooks. So let's put that to one side. And I'm just gonna quarter these onions. And these will create the trivet. And that's gonna help you make the most incredible sauce. So, that sits on our trivet. As that roasts, all the drippings and the fat will go into the onions. The onions will sweeten and kind of start almost jamifying in the most delicious way. That'll be preparation for the most beautiful gravy or sauce ever. All I do is just put a few splashes of water in there, just like that, just to encourage a little bit of humidity and soften those onions. So an hour and a half, 180 degrees Celsius, 350 Fahrenheit. I'll baste that about halfway through, you know, just angle the fat and just spoon it back over the bird, and it's gonna be amazing. So look, I'll have a little clean down, and then I'll show you what to do next. While that's cooking, please click the like button and give us some love, and don't forget to subscribe. Oh, and remember to turn on that notification bell so you know what's happening. Now, back to the recipe. So the duck's had an hour and a half. It smells incredible in here, and it's sizzling away. Have a little look at that. Just beautiful. Just angle the pan and you see that lovely fat that's rendered out. Can you see how much there is? So we can give the bird a nice little baste, like that. Get yourself a little jam jar, okay? And pour some of that excess fat into the jam jar. And the next time you go to, you know, roast a chicken or start a stew or start a risotto or even roast a piece of fish, use duck fat. As soon as you put the lid on here and pop that in the fridge, it will go white. It will go like solid. And it will keep for months and months and months. It's a little gift. Don't forget that. Now for the surprise, and I think almost genius ingredient, 500 grams of grapes. Green, black, red, a mixture, it doesn't matter. Just pull them off. They are seedless and they are going to be roasted for half an hour, right? So this duck finishes off and they're going to go sweet and sour and gorgeous. So I'm just going to toss it in all these beautiful juices. Give it a nice little shake. Look at the colours, so autumnal. So the duck back on top. And we're going to go back in the oven, same temperature, for half an hour. So the duck has had its 2 hours, sizzling away. Look at that. Just beautiful. So let's get on with business. First up, what we want to do is let the duck rest. I'm going to take some of the best of the grapes and just pop it around. We've got onions in here, like the little inner soft parts, you can take those out. And then the kind of cooked caramelized bits, they're going to really help contribute to your amazing gravy. Look at that. So once you've just taken a few grapes and popped it around, and they're amazing. When you have some roasted meat with some of those grapes, it really is very, very special. So let that rest over here. Let's put the heat here onto a medium heat. And I'm gonna go to the neck here, and I'm just gonna break it up. Now, if you look at the bottom of the tray here, see this little sort of sticky bit here? That is flavor and color. Use a little potato masher to start mushing up the onions and the grapes. The flavor will be immense. Add about 500 mils of water. Don't really need stock because all the flavor's in there. So just bring that to the boil. Let it simmer for like 10, 15 minutes if you like. Now, here, these are the giblets. So when you get the giblets, these are things like heart, liver, kidneys. We've got the liver here. Finely chop it. And if you ever come across any little bits of sinew or anything you don't like the look of, you can just literally cut it out and remove it. Now we're going to fry off this offal. Let's use some of the duck fat. We'll put a couple of tablespoons. What I'm going to do is create some crispy little snappy bits of rosemary. There's something really magical that happens when fat gently fries woody herbs like rosemary in this case, and they become incredibly edible and delicious and sort of crispy and gorgeous. So once it's had about 40 seconds, we can pop it on a plate like this. If you want to be spot on, just a tiny pinch of salt while it's hot. Then we're going to come over with our offal. Give it a nice little toss around like that. Look at that, can you see it change colour? Season this with salt and pepper. And that's pretty much done already. But what we're going to do at this stage, which is interesting, is I'm going to take our lovely gravy and I'm going to pour it into our coarse sieve, and we're going to turn this into a nice rustic sauce. This will be like a gravy you've never had before. So use that ladle to really push the grape and the onion through the coarse sieve. So if you look at the bottom of the sieve here, you can see all that onion juice and grape juice. That's going to thicken your gravy. The smells are amazing. So you can reduce this now to a consistency that you like. Have a little taste. Don't burn yourself. Oh, very comforting. Deep flavors. I'm just going to turn it down to a low simmer. I'll have a quick clean down, then I'm going to show you how to carve and break down the duck. It's going to be amazing. So look, here we have the duck, nicely rested. We have sauce, some roasted potatoes, veggies. Let's just kind of get into breaking down the duck. It's now still warm, but easy enough to handle. I'm going to take the little wing off like that and just pull it off. So we have the lovely wing like that. People love the wings. Then it comes onto the leg, and then just use that bone and that meat will just pull away. Look how tender that is. So it's almost comfy-like. We'll do the same on the other side. Then it comes to the breast. I simply get the knife, run it down the spine, and just take it to the bone. So look, there's the breast meat. Just use the tip of the knife to pull that breast off the bone. And then any extra bits of meat that you can use your hands to get, this is your opportunity. The best bit as well, believe it or not, is this leftover carcass. Like this in a pan to make a lovely broth. I love that. So we'll put that over here. And then we've got all our little bits of grapes and onions and any little drippings here. So look, all the little juices and drippings come off. So look, let's plate up once I've washed my hands. So look, there's our beautiful duck. So let's start off with a little bit of that thigh meat here. Here with the breast, what we can do is just slice that through its crispy skin. Just beautiful. Let's just have a couple of nice roasted potatoes. Let's get some nice steamed seasonal greens. And then don't forget, we've got our lovely crispy bits of rosemary. And some of our little sweet onions and our grapes. Look at the colours, guys. But then we've got this gravy, and that over the duck is just to die for. Just look at that. That is a beautiful thing. Something a bit different. I think if you've never cooked duck before, this is a safe recipe, and that amazing sauce is just a win-win. Just deep, sweet, and slightly sour flavours from the gravy. The duck skin is crispy. It's delightful. It's got a nice little chew to it, but then the meat is tender. It's just falling apart. So next time you're thinking about doing something a little bit special for a special occasion, a dinner, it could be Thanksgiving, it could be Christmas, it could be Father's Day. Jules, why not give this a try? And by the way, if you want a nice little 5-ingredient cookbook as well, there you go. The recipe is in there and full of other beautiful recipes with 5 ingredients. So guys, lots of love, take care, and happy cooking. Around Christmas, we all need a couple of great dishes that we can rely on to tick away in the oven, just getting better and better. These easy beef short ribs let the oven do all of the work. Slow cooked in beer gravy to give you all of the festive flavour with none of the fuss. It all happens in one pan, and we are going to use a fantastic cut of beef. Very, very economical. It's the short rib, very tough, but we're going to turn that tough into absolutely melt in your mouth. So get this pan on a medium-high heat, and let's get some dark golden colour on this beef. So as the fat renders out of the ribs of beef, let's start thinking about some flavour. So I've got carrots, and they're going to cook for the same amount of time as these ribs. So I'll keep them whole and just give them a little peel like that. So look. Hello, Conker. Ah, he knows that there's bones in the house. So don't be scared to give our ribs some hard heat. Look at that. We want to get colour on here, because that's going to give you extra flavour. OK, next vegetable, celery. And cut about 12 centimetres up from the root. And that's the heart. So this, for me, is the prized bit. And then the second most prized bit is the yellow leaves. Just get some cold water, in they go, and they will be perfect at the very end. Let's just show you how to prep the hearts. In half, and then in quarters. With the stalks here, just finely slice these. They'll give you the most beautiful, fragrant flavour. I'm very happy with that colour. So, remove the rib now. Look at that. So before I put that back in there, we're going to go in with the carrots and the celery hearts. So we're going to get some colour on these and treat them a little bit like the meat. You can see in the pan here, we've got nice colour on the carrots. Look at that. Now we're going to go in with the chopped celery. So as these celery chunks soften, now we can add the onion marmalade. About half a jar goes in. The next one is walnuts, about 50 grams. They seem to kind of rehydrate and take on those flavours, and they're like real treats later on when you're eating it. So we get our seasoning in there, lots of pepper. That marmalade has given this whole thing an outrageously sticky form. So get yourself a nice bottle of beer, something you'd like to drink. All we do now is take our ribs, snuggle it in, and then I'll top it up with about 600 mils of water. Oh, I could put a lid on top, but I'm going to use some greaseproof paper and make what our French neighbours would call a cartouche. So you just take a sheet of paper like this, fold it in half, and then fold it in half again. And we'll keep doing that, kind of like a weird little paper aeroplane. We go to the middle, and that is our cartouche. Now, the genius of this, instead of a lid that's very perfect, is we can put little cuts in this, and it's going to allow steam to escape, so you'll get that reduction in the sauce. So you get a lovely sticky gravy, and it protects the ribs. So put your little hat on. The oven is at 160 degrees Celsius, which is 330 degrees Fahrenheit, and I'm going to cook it for 4 hours. And now the oven does all the hard work, and then you can go do what you need to do. And at this time of year, there's lots to do. Conquer. Come on. Can't sleep all day. Conquer, it's time, my friend. 4 hours have passed. Halfway through, by the way, I got it out and I just turned over all the ribs, gave it a little baste, and I put 6 jacket potatoes in, OK? So we got nice jacket potatoes, ready and raring to go. And let's just get these spuds absolutely gorgeous. OK, so in here is going to be dark and mysterious. It's smelling amazing. We've got to be careful when we turn it now because it's... Look, look at the tenderness. Look at it, if I just pull a bit. So tender. Oh, the deep flavours are phenomenal. So what I want to do is just sieve off any excess fat. If you cook roast potatoes with this, or a stew or a bolognese, it's going to be utterly delicious. It's like supercharged flavour. What I love to do is put horseradish over this rib. And that just kind of finally seasons the sauce in the most beautiful way. So let's plate some up. We're gonna have a nice jacket potato. Then we're gonna go for a nice hunk of slow-cooked meat. Let's get some of those celery leaves. And then the hot gravy on the top, look. Beautiful. Let's get in there. I want to show you just how outrageously tender this meat is. It just falls apart. A bit of horseradish. It works so well. You've got this beautiful gravy, that sweetness, the tang, and then the meat is so tender. So little work for so much flavour, and this is great party food. You can do it earlier in the day and reheat it. It's a brilliant dish to do for gatherings, but what a joy. We all love show-stopping meals, but guess what? You don't have to wait for that special occasion to cook something that's truly impressive. I'm going to turn these 4 gorgeous salmon fillets into an amazing salmon en croûte. Now, en croûte generally involves pastry around something that's been loved and looked after. It's a great family epic meal. It's exciting, but normally I would say it involves at least a couple of hours. It's something more for dinner parties. It's more of a weekend dish. So I've written this recipe for me and my family for the middle of the week. And this dish is humble. It's only like 7, 8 ingredients, and it's easy to put together. 45 minutes, start to finish, and I think you're gonna love it. First of all, we've got to do the stuffing. So we're going with spinach, onions, garlic. We're gonna flavour it up. Frozen spinach is brilliant. I always have it in my freezer. It's been cooked already, it's been squeezed already. All we have to do is bring this back to life. So about 500 grams of spinach is what we need, but we want to flavour it. So best friends with spinach, probably most likely, is garlic. So I've got some garlic, which actually, I grew this, which is nice. I'll just finely slice about 4 cloves, get that into the oil, and give it a nice little mix around. Like that, beautiful. To go with that, 1 onion. A little pinch of salt, a little pinch of pepper, and let's start sweating that off, getting it nice and softened up. We want to bring out the sweetness in those onions. I've got a little bit of rosemary here, which is just winking at me, so I'll just nick a little bit of this. Just a few little bits. This is an optional extra. Any herb, I can't think of one herb I wouldn't want with the salmon and the spinach, so this is beautiful. A little bit of lemon zest really adds a nice bit of fragrance. So for me, the idea of an en croûte is kind of like a present. You're wrapping something. So, of course, what's inside needs to be glorious. So I really want to intensify flavour here. So I'll now take the frozen spinach and we'll go straight in. And of course, that needs to thaw, but we're going to fry and thaw. So let's just take this like that. So what I do now is just have this at a medium heat and put a little lid on top. 10 minutes, it's going to fry and steam. The spinach will defrost and then start getting flavoured with all that gorgeousness. Okay, let's have a little taste. Very nice. Little bit of seasoning, and that is going to be absolutely lovely. So, while that cools down a little bit, let's get the puff pastry out. I think puff pastry is a brilliant, brilliant thing. Look, it's already rolled out for me, and that is properly convenient. This is an all butter puff pastry. It comes on the greaseproof paper, so I don't even have to add any. Then just get yourself a baking dish, place this on top. So what I want to do is just build like a little landing strip for the salmon, right? To give it great flavour, but also to kind of make it look beautiful. Now, if you want to cook it straight away, you can put the spinach on here warm, no trouble at all. If you want to do it in advance, then cool this down, then put it together, okay? So we'll go into the middle of the pastry first. Use a spoon to push the spinach about 5 centimetres from the edge of all 4 sides of the puff pastry. It's super simple, and I know that's going to be super tasty. So then we go on with the salmon. So look, normally when you do a salmon en croûte, it's a big whole side of salmon. It's a bit of a kind of spectacle, but this dish works really well with like normal supermarket portions. So what I want to do is just grab it and leave a little finger's gap in between. This really helps you because you can get a nice clean portion, so it helps you later on when you serve up. But also it means we've got the potential to add in flavour into those gaps. So look at that, pretty simple, right? Now what we can do is encase it. So we're not going to fully encase it, we're going to partially encase it. So use the paper to go up against the salmon, and I'll do the same on the other side. Tuck it in, push the pastry down, and that way you secure the salmon. So we're really making everything sit in that little package. And the same on that final side here. Don't worry about any tears or cuts. You know, if it misbehaves a bit, you can tuck it in. It's quite a pliable pastry. Season this with a little salt and a little tiny bit of pepper. And then 2 eggs, beaten up, and just brush the pastry. This egg wash will make this pastry go absolutely insanely gorgeous and golden and delightful. And this is going to go into the oven in 2 simple stages. I'm going to put it in the oven now at 220 degrees Celsius. And very importantly, put this at the bottom of the oven. Why? Because we want crispy bottoms, okay? So 15 minutes, that's all you need. In we go. Happy days. Right, let me show you a really cool little hack. Most of the eggs are still in this bowl, right? And when I came up with this recipe, I'm thinking, my teenagers, what do they like? Pestos, right? Jarred pestos, you can get some nice tomato ones, sun-dried tomato pestos. So a tablespoon of this in the eggs is like an incredible seasoning. It doesn't just have to go on pasta. Whip that up, and we've got like an easy 1 ingredient hack to take these eggs and make them amazing. So 15 minutes is up. Good smells are coming out of this oven. Let's have a little look here. Yes. Look at that. So we're getting colour here. I can see there's crispiness happening underneath. So we'll take that lovely pesto-y egg and it will go in between the little gullies. And it will protect and flavour the salmon. Another 15 minutes in the oven will not kind of overcook this salmon, but it will kind of just make it gorgeous. Put that egg over the salmon. That will give it a fantastic little glaze. Look at that. It's gonna be amazing. So back in the oven for 15 minutes, and then it's dinner time. Exciting. Time's up. Welcome to my beautiful salmon on croûte. It's scruffy, but it's utterly beautiful. Look at that. I love it. I love it, I love it, I love it. Bubbling and sizzling around the outside. Look at that. I mean, it's all about the crunchy edges. Look at that. Just so crispy. I've done some greens here. I couldn't help myself. Got some lovely green beans, asparagus, sprouting broccoli, little kiss of olive oil. And that is a sumptuous, sumptuous meal for the people I love. All right, let's get into it. So, the nice thing about these gaps is it's sort of showing us where the portion is. Look at that. Look at the cross section. Absolutely gorgeous. It's like the perfect slice. Crispy pastry at the bottom. Gorgeous, rich spinach. The garlic, the onions, and that glaze of the flavoured pesto egg. It's a thing of joy. Look at that. Little kiss of lemon juice. Fresh and delicious. Right, go on, let's have a little cheeky try. Oh. Pastry, salmon, spinach. It's so good. The salmon is flaking, and then the sweetness of the pesto with the egg is like elegance, just kind of like put over the top with the crispy pastry. It's a lovely, lovely meal. So let's not do this for dinner parties and friends. Let's do this at home, for your family. Honestly, you won't regret it. That food makes me happy, and everyone deserves that, especially now, more than ever. Right, let's take this to the girls. One of my most favourite parts of Christmas is the leftovers. The leftover food is where the flavour is at. I call it a hodgepodge pie. And basically, it's a principle where you can embrace all of that lovely leftover Christmas dinner, whether it's the white turkey meat, brown turkey meat, stuffing, we got cranberry sauce. We're gonna get all festive. First, we're gonna start with pastry. I got 2 helpers to help me bring this pie together. This pie is called a hodgepodge pie. Can you say that?
No, hodgepodge pie.
No.
Hodgepodge pie. Dad,
Yes.
can I do my decoration?
Yes, we're gonna do decorations very soon. And we got the white breast meat here. We've got some stuffing. We've got some brown meat. We have our lovely sauce. Oh, it's so good. That's it. Half a ladle, that's all you need. And then we can just push it around like that. One of the key flavours is cranberry sauce, and pop this on the top. And now we can do the bit that River wants to do. What bit are we gonna do, River?
Decorating.
Yay, we're gonna do decorating. What on earth is going on? How? Look, wait, I'm trying to help the nation cook leftovers. What I like about this pie is, as bonkers and eccentric and as beautiful as it kind of is, it can actually take quite a battering. You can get bits wrong, you can tear it, you can fill the gaps, you can have fun with kids. I'm gonna whack that in the oven now. Leave me to the washing up, as usual. Love you! Look at that, absolutely. Beautiful. That, my friends, is the hodgepodge pie. Gorgeous. I'm gonna go for a spoon. There she is. Hot and steamy. Oh, some lovely greens right there. little peas everywhere. I'm gonna have a little cheeky try. I love it. Turkey, stuffing in there, sort of tastes like Christmas dinner. And the pastry is so gorgeous. Hodgepodge pie, lovely, homemade, full of love. And remember all of those leftovers brought together and celebrated. Who couldn't love a pie? Hi guys, okay, I'm gonna show you how to make a really simple but really delicious braised red cabbage. It's an amazing dish from my new cookbook, Jamie's Christmas, with fennel seeds, clementine, balsamic vinegar, smoky bacon and rosemary. People are gonna go crazy for it on Christmas Day, or in actual fact, any time of the year. First up, I've got a nice whole red cabbage. This is about 1 kilo in weight. I've taken the tatty outside leaves off. Smoky bacon here. So first job, slice it up, and I'm using a kind of casserole style pan on a medium heat. So bacon in, and we're gonna fry this off with about a tablespoon of olive oil. So we're gonna render out the beautiful natural fat from the bacon. Beautiful. What I'm gonna do is split this red cabbage very carefully in half, roughly and finely slice the red cabbage. The stalk, I'm just gonna literally slice up in any old way. I think this is one of the cheapest vegetables that you can buy. I think personally that a lot of people think that red cabbage is like a frumpy, boring veg. Absolutely no way. Delicious. Now I can hear that the bacon is changing sound. It's starting to get golden if you look in there. And when it's getting lightly golden, I'm gonna add 2 or 3 big sprigs of rosemary, go in, and I want the rosemary to absorb all of that lovely fat from the bacon. And the rosemary is then gonna go really, really crispy. So look at this, guys. The rosemary goes deep green and starts to go equally crispy, just like the bacon. I'm gonna remove the rosemary and the bacon with a slotted spoon. And I'm gonna leave behind the fat, right? In here, look at that. That's all smoky bacon fat. I'm gonna take a little knob of butter, put that in there. We're gonna go in with 2 teaspoons level of fennel seed. Have a look at these. These are my favorite spice. I use it so often and it's really, really good. So I'm just gonna tear in some prunes, a little handful. These have the most incredible dynamic flavor. They will completely disintegrate into nothing. And then I'm gonna go in with the red cabbage. 1 or 2 nice apples, roughly chop it. This will give amazing sweetness to this dish without having to use like loads of brown sugar and stuff like that. Look at the color, guys. The amazing purple against the white of the apples. I'll add a nice little pinch of salt and pepper. And then there's one last ingredient. I'm gonna add about 8 to 10 tablespoons of balsamic vinegar. And we're gonna cook it all away. So guys, it might seem like a lot of balsamic vinegar, but please just trust me, when that cooks away, it's gonna bring all the flavors together. So you've got the sweet and the sour of the vinegar and the apples and the prunes, you know, with all those spices and the smoky bacon. It's gonna be delicious. So lid on, medium heat, 25 minutes. I'll stir that every 5 minutes. So, see you in 25. So this has had 25 minutes. It's a phenomenal color. You might want to add just a little bit more fresh butter just to kind of help join all the flavors. And then if you wanted to, you can just use a classic Christmas flavor like clementine. And that's the last thing, the last bit of sweetness that kind of stops the frying. Look at that. It's just a beautiful thing. Of course, cabbage is incredibly good for you, but we've made this so desirable, so delicious. And then don't forget the rosemary and the crispy bacon bits. Absolutely gorgeous. That'll feed as a side dish, 10 people, easy peasy, really nice.
Hi guys, it's Christmas and today I'm going to be making some gingerbread men and I've got loads of helpers, hopefully helpful helpers. I've got Giselle, Petal and Buds, Poppy and Daisy, so I'm going to try not to embarrass them this morning. Are you excited for Christmas?
Yeah.
These gingerbread are a little bit different to the normal that you probably buy in the shop. One, you know exactly what you're putting in them, so there won't be any E numbers or anything evil in there. You can hang them on your Christmas tree, or you can make them for presents. I actually use them as a treat. We're going to decorate them slightly different with cranberries and raisins and coconut. It's great to have the kids here actually. It's all the little filly bits of the icing, which they obviously love to do because it's like art and it's quite simple. This should make about a dozen gingerbread men, depending on the size of your cutters. We've got kind of small men and big men. So we're going to start with the wet ingredients first. I put a saucepan on a medium heat because what we don't want to do is get anything to burn too quickly. 125 grams of butter, 3 tablespoons of golden syrup. I'm just going to pour it in roughly. Pops, we've got 100 grams of sugar, if you could pour that in for me. So you just want to heat it until the sugar melts, basically. You're right, little ones, you're very quiet. It's very worrying. You all right?
Yeah.
Are you watching?
Yeah.
You can.
Yeah.
Daisy, do you want to stir that for me? So it should just be smooth, not bubbling. So now I'm going to do my dry ingredients. So we've got 300 grams of plain flour, half a teaspoon of cinnamon. Pops, do you want to grate half of that, mate?
Half?
Yeah. Half a teaspoon of bicarbonate soda, 2 teaspoons of ginger, which is the kind of the ultimate ingredient. Okay, so there's our dry ingredients. Quite really simple actually. So we've got the hot ingredients going into the dry ingredients. Nearly done, kids. Nearly done. Smell like Christmas?
Oh. I smell like nothing, just like little.
Okay.
Shit.
I think I'm going to make this into my dough now.
Do
Do you? But I quite want to do it as well.
I want to do it.
I can do it. Hold on. It's quite kind of sticky. It's like a wet dough anyway. Yeah, it's almost ready to go. You ready, kids?
Yeah.
Right, that didn't take long, did it?
No.
I'll move all these out of the way so I can
Really
see.
long.
Right, need a rolling pin? Rolling pin? Yeah, if you can share it. We're actually rolling it onto baking paper rather than the wood because it's going to be easier when we lift them. Hold on. When we lift them up and put them onto our trays so it doesn't stick. All right, okay, Buddy's done well. Pedal's my little baby one. Oh, how cute. So the thickness you need is about ½ centimetre, just like a thickness of a £1 coin, really.
I got a trick to make it better. If you want to make it better, like less crumbly, you have to do like one way.
Oh, so if you go back,
If
you
you
can
go,
pull it
if you
back.
go back and forth, it will pull it back a bit.
Oh, let's see, it's her father's daughter. Well done, Days. I know, but you are. Yes.
Mum,
Yeah? Do you want me to help you with yours? Okay.
this
you go.
is broken.
No, he's fine. Oh, that one's not so good. So now what you do is
Yes,
get the excess
Buddy.
and roll again.
Okay. I can't do it.
You
Good girl.
can't ask Buddy to now.
Very good, he's got a big man.
TV, where should I put this?
This one hasn't got an arm, but I think that's good. Okay, so you don't have to obviously use gingerbread men. You could use Christmas stars or Christmas trees or anything. They've got so many different shapes in the shop, so you could. And you don't have to wait till Christmas, so you could do anything. Oh my God, that's brilliant. Okay, I'm just going to borrow this. Hang on. These are great, guys. I love them. Well done, G. I love that. Good girl. Daisy, that's cute.
Mum, I'm finished.
Right, Buds is done. Cool. Good effort, kids. They're brilliant. I love them.
I do one more, Mum.
All right, do one more. They're so individual. I love that. So, so
Babies.
I'm going to pop them in now. I'm popping them in now. Oh, okay. Do you want to, yeah. All right, then hold on. We've got one extra one. I've done the oven. It's 180 for about 10 minutes. So keep a watch out because I tend to burn things. So I'll keep a good lookout. Or I'll get the children to look out for me. I'll put in one tray.
Oh, look out.
You look out for me, Buds.
Gingerbread men take tips.
Okay, so these have been in about 10 minutes. That's kind of the colour they should be. Slightly warm. If you want to turn these into Christmas decorations, now's the time to do it. Put the hole through, because obviously when they're done later, they'll all crack. So that's for Christmas decorations if you want to do it now. But they are ready to decorate, guys. You ready?
Yay!
So first of all, we're going to go through what we've got. Just once again, we've got desiccated coconut, currants. What's that?
Cranberry.
Walnuts. Walnuts, cranberries and almonds. And we've got some icing here. And the best bit is we've got piped icing in a bag, okay? So you can use it like a glue, so you can go like that, doop, doop, and then on top of your glue, this is like arts and crafts, you can put your stuff on like that. So you've got eyes, buttons.
Oh, mine's a
Now-
big broken arm.
You're the one with the broken arm. I love that one. Put that there.
I'm the one on the big one.
Yeah, doesn't have to be really neat.
That's the nose, this is the nose, and that's the mouth.
Daisy, that's so cute. Look at that. I love that. I love him. What's his name? They got names? Oh,
No,
really?
Mom, Mr. Silly, Mr. Silly.
Yeah. The first one's done for Christmas. This is Petal's one. Petal, that is brilliant. If I like his tummy, and that's Daisy's yours. Buddy's basically using icing. I'm just going to use this now, and I'm going to make one myself. I'm hiding behind here because my art is terrible. Who's enjoying this? Who likes this?
I could do this all day.
Yeah,
Can I have number
of
one?
course you can. They're all different, all unique. I can almost tell who's done whose. I think it's just really sweet, especially if you put this on the table if there's a party, and it's just quite nice for the children to eat rather than rubbishy old sweets. I reckon we're done, kids. Yay!
No! Mum, finished.
Good.
I want to lick it.
Back away from the ice and sugar. I think you can see they've had a great time, which has been really worth it. So you can do this, it's really good to do when they break up from school. It's going to count those hours down much quicker to Christmas Eve, which is always the most exciting day on the planet. So yeah, it's been really fun. I've really enjoyed that, and I think clearly what's going to happen is tonight I'm going to do it again on my own, because I think it'll be really good fun. Bye! Merry Christmas! Woo!
It starts with the fillet of beef. It's so tender. Go and get yourself about 1.2, 1.3 kilos worth. Get your butcher to trim it up. This will easily serve 8 people. Give it a nice pinch of sea salt, a little bit of pepper. Rosemary and beef are the best friends in the whole wide world. Sprinkle that on the board so there's an even covering, and then get that lovely fillet of beef. Give it a little press, and that's how you get a really nice, even seasoning. Add a lug of olive oil, a knob of butter, and a sprig of rosemary to a pan on a high heat. Then brown the fillet all over for 4 minutes. Let's start the chicken liver and mushroom pate. It's really simple. Replace the fat in your beef pan with some fresh olive oil and butter. Go in with 2 cloves of garlic, 2 sprigs of rosemary, a chopped red onion, and a pinch of salt. Look at these mushrooms, absolutely beautiful. 600 grams I'm using. Break them up with your hand. Put your mushrooms into the pan with the onion and garlic and cook down for 15 minutes until softened. Then add 100 grams of chicken livers, a dash of Worcestershire sauce, plus a capful of truffle oil. Cook for 3 or 4 minutes, then tip it all onto a board. Oh, the smell is phenomenal. And you can cut this to any texture you want. I am quite happy with that. I'm just going to go in with a nice big handful of dry breadcrumbs, and that will soak up some of those lovely resting juices from the meat. Next, the puff pastry, but make sure you get a good quality all butter one. I want it to be about the size of a tea towel, about 30 centimetres by 40 centimetres. Keep turning it. Spread the mushroom and chicken liver pate over the pastry, leaving a space around the edges. To make it all stick together, paint a little bit of beaten egg onto the exposed bits of pastry. And roll it up like this. Keep it tight, snug, and then just roll it over again until it's firm. Pinch that edge and push it down. Squash the ends with a fork, dipped in flour, then glaze the whole Wellington with egg wash. And to prevent a soggy bottom, I'm going to give it a 2-minute blast on the hob before it goes in to cook. Get that in the oven at 210 degrees Celsius for exactly 40 minutes. Put it on the bottom of the oven. I can feel it's nice and crisp, which is lovely. The colours are amazing. After resting the meat for 5 minutes, I'm ready to serve. Beautiful. Let's load it up with some nice greens and then the gravy. Very exciting. Beef fillet has rested into that mushroom and it's all kind of cooked into each other. There's a real harmony there. That is so good. With more and more of us eating less meat these days, the chances of you lovely people having a vegetarian around the Christmas table is very high. So let me give you the most incredible edible present that the veggies are going to kiss you for and the meat eaters are going to fight you for. Introducing the one and only veggie pithivier. It's the most incredible French-style pie, a parcel of puff pastry, crispy and gorgeous, with layer upon layer of amazing sweet, slow-roasted celeriac, creamy, gorgeous mushrooms, and even a little bit of sauce on the side. Guys, it starts here with celeriac. We're going to take the top off. You want to leave the skin on. Take some olive oil, give it a drizzle up, sea salt, lots of black pepper. Get your hands in there and have a little rub up. And when that starts to roast on the outside with the skin, it's going to be truly delicious. Now I'm going to wrap it in tin foil. Just put it over like that. And there you go. That now goes in the oven for an hour and a half. And we're going to cook it at 200 degrees Celsius, which is 400 Fahrenheit. And the flavours that will happen in here will be absolutely immense. Now it's time to make the sauce. A lovely bechamel style sauce with sweet leeks, garlic and mushrooms. It's going to be a joy. So I have 2 leeks. The ends I'll just take off Get your knife, run it down the length of the leek and just go as thin as you can. Let's get cooking. We're gonna put some butter, the white part of the leeks. Get yourself 2 cloves of garlic, slice it up. Garlic goes in. Look at that. Already smells amazing. We've got our standard button mushrooms and our chestnut mushrooms, but absolutely you can upgrade for wild mushrooms at this time of year. Whether you go for the cheapest mushroom or the most expensive, it's still bloomin' delicious. So in the pan with our mushrooms, cook those for about 10-15 minutes. And it's this stage of making a sauce that's gonna give you the oomph, the flavor. So I'm gonna use a teaspoon of English mustard, and then I'm gonna use 2 heaped tablespoons of just plain flour. That's your thickening agent. And then we're gonna let it down with 800 mils of milk. And as I add the milk, it will start to just get silkier. We'll let that simmer now, just enough time for me to get some herbs chopped up. So just finely slice the parsley. You can see it's nice and thick. I'm gonna turn off the heat. And there's one last ingredient, 120 grams of beautiful blue cheese. Have a little taste. Oh, beautiful. Now let's make the filling. Right, let's have a little look. Oh. Look at that, there you go. You see it's caramelized, it's shrunk a little bit, and then slice it like a piece of ham. Don't worry if it breaks or if there's a few bits that sort of plop off. Get yourself a regular bowl, olive oil, and then just put the cling film through like that. Use your hand to push it into the corner. And now what I want to do is take beautiful slices of the celeriac. Place that just up the side like that. And it doesn't matter if you do this well or badly, right? Just line the side. Don't panic, don't stress. And then a base like that. That is what you end up with. Then we're gonna go over to our sauce. Just put a little bit of that in there, and then again, layer that celeriac, beautiful creamy sauce. So last layer, push it right around, and use those last little bits to make your topping. And then at this stage, we'll use that cling film. Just pull it tight. Get yourself a little plate so you can weigh it down. And then if we put that in the fridge overnight, the fridge temperature is gonna make it really firm, and then it's really, really easy to turn into the most incredible pie. It's gonna be beautiful. This has been in the fridge, so it's firmed up. But then we need to encase it in some pastry. I'm cheating, I'm using all butter puff pastry. It's even rolled out for us. Take it as a square, like that, all the way. So we now have the base. I've got some egg yolks here. Take our filling, just turn it out into the middle of our pie like that. And then I'm gonna use another roll, and we wanna flap it on top. So line up and just go over. And this is almost like making the most incredible little Christmas present, right? Pat the top, we go to one side, right into the corner, define that shape. And we want to cut about 1.5 centimeters around the pie, like this. We don't have to waste this, right? You can put Parmesan in there, a bit of cayenne pepper, a few little twists, do a nice little nibble. Get yourself a little chair, come down to this beautiful pie's level. Get myself some flour, take one finger, forefinger, you push it in, you take your thumb and forefinger and squeeze around it. And as you squeeze, pinch it at the end, and you get that. And what's great about this is it seals the 2 bits of pastry together. We'll put a little cross in there, that will let the steam out, and I'm gonna give it a really nice glaze. And this is gonna give it the most incredible bronze tan. This is a French pie that's come truly via Essex. Look at that tan, come on. And then I'll take my knife from the center and just turn it and score it. And I go back, and then I'll turn it and score it. You do not wanna cut all the way through. Now, last but not least, a little bit of my offcuts. Cut a little circle out, find something round. You can just cut out that center part like that, and then lay that over our little cross. And you can do that 1-2 days before Christmas. That is a celebration of a dish. Now, because it's Christmas, get yourself a wodge of rosemary, get some olive oil on there, and dress it up. It's gonna smell nice, look nice. It's like a little wreath. That will be cooked at the bottom of the oven at 180 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit, for 2 hours. Ho, ho, ho! Look at that. It's a thing of beauty. Oh, yes! This is a veggie dish that meat eaters will fight for. So good. Come on. A nice little drizzle of the sauce. Come on. Just beautiful. Let's go for the end. Wowzers. Your guests will not know what's happened. Merry Veggie Christmas. Lovely people, I'm going to show you how to make Hasselback potatoes. Beautiful, roast, crispy skinned potatoes, cut in such a way that they all open up, fan up, and you can flavour them in the most beautiful way. I've done this for my new cookbook, Jamie's Christmas, and you can make this any time of the year. It's really a principle. It's not just potatoes, guys. Parsnips, carrots. Today, I am brave enough to have 2 helpers. My little boy buddy, okay, and this is Petal. Say hello.
Hello. Hello.
Have you ever heard the word Hasselback? No, didn't think so. So I am going to get 2 of my beautiful spoons. I'm going to lay them down. I'm going to place the potato in between the gap to stop the knife going all the way through. So I'm going to make little slices every ½ centimetre, all the way down to the little spoon. And this means that you don't slip. It's really got a perfect effect. Come and have a little look here. So you can see what we've done here is create kind of like a crazy little open texture. Now the great thing about that is it makes more surface area, which means it's more crispy, and I can put flavoured oils in there. What do you think of that, kids? Impressed? I am using a Maris Piper potato because it's really great for roasting, fluffy on the inside, crispy on the outside, and that's exactly what you want in a roast potato or a Hasselback. I'm going to put the potatoes into the tray, and these lovely kids are going to show you how to make a flavoured oil. So, guys, do you know what herb this is?
Thyme.
Good lad. So I'm going to put a pinch of salt in here to create not just seasoning for this, but an abrasive kind of environment. And then I'm going to give this to Petal. So Petal, if you can bash the living daylights out of that. Create a mush for Daddy. And that immediately it sort of breaks down the herb itself, releases the oils, the flavour, and it's going to give you incredible smell. So once you've got a mush, then we can add our fat. That could be butter, turkey drippings, or olive oil. So if you can just muddle that slowly around in circles. I'm going to add some oil to this, and this is going to transmit all those amazing flavours. So what we want to do now is make sure all the cut sides are facing up. Then we're going to pour this amazing oil. Look at the colour, guys, look at the colour. And we'll just give it a toss. And of course, they're absorbing and taking on all of that beautiful flavour. And I'm going to put the cut side facing up. So I'm going to pop this in the oven. They're going to make a really good potato, but I want to add to it. We're going to take some leftover bread, brown or white. Do you know what nuts these are? I bet you don't.
Hazelnuts.
Yeah, it is hazelnuts. Hazelnuts is the nut of choice, but you could use almonds. Take some more of the thyme. I'm going to pop these in the oven. What you've got is really, really crispy bread now, and you can see how the skins on the hazelnuts have just kind of come off and they've toasted. Basically, we've created flavour and texture, okay? There's a nice little tip to come. These potatoes here have had 45 odd minutes, and I'm going to use a little brush, thyme, olive oil, Hasselback potatoes. Now, my little helper, can you take this tray, it's not hot, and just pour it in here? Are you tall enough to get in there? It's quite a big ask. Let's help you. And then we're going to put some cheese in there. So just a few little knobs of cheese. So if I close this, can you turn the button, please? You can have them chunky or you can have them quite fine. And then sprinkle this on top. I'm going to put this back in the oven now, about 15 more minutes, until gnarly and crispy and golden and sizzling and delicious. Look at that. A great Hasselback potato, but it's not just potatoes, guys. Parsnips, carrots, absolutely beautiful. So have fun with it. Let's plate these sexy fellows up. Unbelievable, joyful. This is what you're getting, guys. Super crispy, and then on the inside, super soft, super fluffy, and of course it's absorbed all those beautiful fats and flavour from the thyme. Delicious. Have a go at those. If you've got any ways of doing it that you think are really interesting, put it in the comments box below. There were supposed to be little people to try them. Let's see what happens. You can rip them apart if you want. Can I take these back for the crew?
Yeah.
Cool.
No. Can I just have one more? No, one more.
Oh, that's good. Happy Christmas, you lovely food tubers. Mr. Oliver here in a beautifully festive fashion. We're going to do a beautiful dish. Sticky, delicious beef short ribs with mashed potato, winter slaw. The flavour is maximum. This is a showstopper. So I've got 2 beef short ribs right here. You know, it's from the forequarter of the beef. That's the bone marrow. That's kind of like the most incredible, intense sort of stock cube ever. So get your ribs into a pan, season it with some salt and a really generous seasoning of pepper. A little bit of olive oil just to get it going. This cut of meat is tough, so you need to rehydrate the tendons so they just break up and become delicious and sticky. So what I want to do is have a closed environment. So I'm going to get a nice long sheet of tin foil, double wrap, and then we're going to whack this in the oven for about 8 hours until nice and tender at 100 degrees Celsius. I'll see you in 8 hours. Oh, that 8 hours went quick, and I'm still in this jumper. Check this out. The meat has kind of shrunk back off the bones. I feel like this is a meal from the Flintstones. Wilma! It's very cool. You've got the most incredible like roast beef juice. It tastes amazing. Pour that into a little cup here. Can you see it separating? You know, we don't want this fat in our story, but we want to save that fat for a rainy day. A little will go a long way flavour-wise. So this in the fridge, super important tip. Then we got the lovely stock, and we're going to go back into our tray. So get your pan on full whack. Go in with about 180 millilitres of ketchup, 150 mils of dark stout, 4 teaspoons of mustard, 4 teaspoons of malt vinegar, 4 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce. And last but not least, golden syrup, 4 teaspoons of that. Oh yes. And we're just going to boil this up until it's a lovely, sticky, glazy British barbecue sauce. So I'm pretty happy with that. So we'll turn that heat off, put it over the top, in and around. All I need to do now is pop this back in the oven, keep it at the same temperature, 100 degrees, 20 minutes to 40 minutes is fine. Next up, let's do a beautiful winter coleslaw. But if you'll forgive me, next time you see me, I won't have a jumper because I'm really, really hot. Woo! Okay, that's a little bit cooler. Thank the Lord for that. Okay, so hot pan. I've got some caraway seeds here. Just a nice heaped teaspoon and just toast them up. Get them a little bit smoky. I want 2 heaped tablespoons of mayo going into a bowl. About 1 heaped tablespoon or 2 of yogurt. A heaped teaspoon of English mustard. Season it lightly. And I'm just going to finely chop some herbs. I'm using dill because I just love it. And then 1.5 tablespoons of white wine vinegar. We want it to be nicely acidic. Mix that up. These caraway seeds will just add a sort of surprise and toastiness into this dressing. So look, let's have a little taste. Oh, it's good. A little tip. Take some pickled onions and a little bit of the vinegar just to tweak that acidity so it's sharp and fresh. Finely chop those pickled onions. Over here I've got lovely seasonal veg, guys. Use anything that you're passionate about. So I've got some nice yellow beetroots here. Finely slice these up. Then I've got white cabbage. I'm just gonna add it. I've got some kales. So good for you. So let's get that in there. It looks like a lot of volume, but it will sink. Then we've got some lovely carrots here. Beet leaves. So I'm going to get all of this into here now. There's no polite way to do it. Just move it around, sort of squeeze it. And you can see this makes quite a lot. Let's serve this beautiful food up. If people come around your house for a dinner party and you've got this beautiful short rib dish, I honestly think they're going to go wild for this dish. It's literally like cutting through butter. Look how tender that is. It's just melt in your mouth. Amazing. I'm serving it with regular mashed potato, a little bit of nutmeg and butter. Get some of that lovely winter slaw for that gorgeous, tender short rib to go on top. So there you go. Look at that. Word up, food tubers! This is the first day of the Christmas calendar. We are going to kick off with amazing party food. Crispy squid with the most amazing spicy mayonnaise. It's a beautiful recipe and you'll blow people away. So let's get our heads around it. What makes the best, not just good, the best crispy squid? We've got some squid. It's been gutted and skinned, and your fishmonger will do this for you. We are going to get a nice ninja knife and we're going to go through the body of the squid very gently to the tip. Now, we need something really technical. Swing! A regular eating knife. A sharp knife will screw this up. I want you to just lightly score it on the inside of this squid. You don't want to push down, you'll just cut through it. We'll turn it around And we'll do this side. I'm making a little kind of chessboard. So, by scoring it, we've already started to tenderize it. Beautiful. But we want a crunch. There's nothing wrong with just straight old flour. It's going to kind of create this lovely outside layer that's going to be your crunch. But that flour you can infiltrate and you can flavor and you can make the most delicious flour ever. Get a big handful of fennel seeds. Whiz it up. So I've got some oregano going in. It smells and tastes gorgeous. Heaped teaspoon of salt to get things going and whiz it up. I'm putting what you can see is a large amount in there, ground white pepper. A good heaped teaspoon in there. So mix that up with your hands. In we go with the squid. So I want to dress each one of these so it's all covered. Onto the legs. The legs I always cook 1 minute before the other parts. The legs I think benefit from a good old cooking. There is an optional extra. Unwaxed lemon. I want to slice this up, but we want it thin. I'm going to throw that into the flour and some parsley. What I'm going to do is make sure there's a little bit of water on the parsley and mix it up. I'm going to let that sit for 5 minutes. To go with it is going to be an amazing mayonnaise. And I want a mayonnaise that when you dip the squid in, it's going to go woohoo! Get a clove of garlic with a good pinch of salt. Let's start the story. Smashed into a pulp, 2 heaped tablespoons of mayo go in. We mix it. I'm going to take a really amazing product that I love called harissa. This is sometimes a mixture of chilies. I mean, look at it. It's amazing. It is hot, but it's like a rounded, beautiful hot. So I'm going to put 1 teaspoon in there. Then we need to bring it to life. So I'm going to go in with the juice of half a juicy lemon. So we're lifting that mayonnaise. If you want to get more lemon flavour, the zest is super good. And I want like a sea of mayo. There's a secret ingredient that's going to really kick it up. Rose water. It's fragrant, it's floral. Your crispy squid's going to become famous overnight. So we've got the chili in it, but then we're going to take that harissa and put it on it. And look at the darkness of that chili oil. And just marble. So when people go for a little smidgen of crispy squid, they're going to get a beautiful mayonnaise and then punch around the face of just happiness and joy. No mucking about there. Right, let's cook some squid. You probably won't have a thermometer. Grab a potato, put it in, and by the time it floats like this one, you should be rattling around 170 degrees Celsius. So gather your legs, shake off your excess, and in it goes. There's a bit of spitting going on, so you might want to keep your distance. In we go with the squid. All very exciting. Don't overfill your pan. So the legs have had about 1.5 minutes. The bodies have had about 40 seconds. Then I'm thinking about my lemons, which will only take 30 seconds. We'll make it look pretty, but they are nice to eat. Look at our lovely crispy skin. It's looking, yeah! In with the parsley. Take this squid that's now done onto your paper. That's going to drain. Look at the colour, phenomenal. Absolutely beautiful. Perfectly cooked bodies, most importantly. That's where your money is. At this point, what I like to do is take our little hot friend here, hot and crispy, right? We're going to slice this up, sharp knife to go through. And when you do that, you get that. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what it's all about. Beautiful, juicy, delicate squid, rude boy styly crispy on the outside, right? And that is a game changer. Slice through them, any thickness that you like. Obviously, that means you can stretch it a little further should more people turn up. Really, really beautiful. Very, very nice. Crispy galore. I mean, look at that, guys. Not many people serve it like this. I think it's exciting. There you go. That's the festive, crispy squid. Amazing crust. Super ridiculous mayonnaise. If you like this recipe, like it. And of course, keep the comments coming in. It's really important to where we go next. And all you have to do now, take a piece of squid and dip into our mayonnaise and then put it in our gob. That is amazing. You've got to have a go at that.